there's one critique of the media from the right that I do agree with is the moralizing nature. Like, there is no condescension and moralizing on Fox. It's people on a couch asking questions. Are you worried about how many terrorists are coming in on the border? Do you ever worry about that? Whereas if you turn on MSC sometimes, you're like, it's like birds descending, you know, at sea on a tuna boat going, that's factually incorrect. Incorrect. Not correct. Incorrect. And you're just like, I can't listen to this.
You're all acting like the tariff regime is a tried and true remedy. Oh, of course, this is the medicine that's always prescribed. Except the last time it was tried 100 years ago, we had a Great Depression.
Hey folks, buckle up because we're diving into a media storm that's shaking things up like never before. Jon Stewart, yes, that Jon Stewart just dropped a truth bomb so massive it's got the internet buzzing and the mainstream media sweating. He's calling out the left's media machine for what it is, a propaganda engine dressed up as journalism. And here's the kicker, even some of Trump's fiercest critics, like Stewart, are starting to see through the hypocrisy. Want to know what's got everyone talking? Stick around because we've got all the receipts. And trust me, you won't want to miss this. But first, hit that subscribe button so you're always in the loop for epic takedowns like this one.
First law of Trumpodynamics. Every action is met with a very not equal overreaction.
These pardons are sick. They are offensive. They are un-American.
This is one of the most egregious, despicable acts in American history.
This is textbook authoritarian takeover 101.
You know, I should have taken that class. And not majored in submissive liberal crying 101.
Let's start with the big picture. If there's one thing the right gets right about the media, it's the moralizing. Turn on Fox and you've got folks on a couch asking real questions like, are you worried about who's crossing the border? It's straightforward, relatable, no fluff. Now flip to MSNBC and it's like you're stuck on a tuna boat with seagulls screeching, that's factually incorrect. Incorrect, not correct. It's exhausting. Jon Stewart himself put it best. I can't listen to this. And he's not alone. Viewers are tuning out because they're tired of being lectured by networks that act like they've got a monopoly on truth. So what's driving this disconnect? Let's break it down.
You want to make America great again, you can't skimp on the details.
President Trump says he's going to reverse Joe Biden's mandate to phase out plastic straws, saying, enjoy your next drink without a straw that disgustingly dissolves in your mouth.
Okay, he's right on this one. He is right on this one. Those straws are f***ing terrible. Objectively terrible. I'm supposed to have some weird tissue paper dissolve in my mouth just because turtles can't figure out straws aren't food? No. Don't eat the tubes, stupid turtles. So Trump is making America great again by taking us back to 2016. But obviously, if we're going to make America great again, we can't stop in 2016. We got to keep pushing to that place when America was truly great.
Here's where things get juicy. Jon Stewart, the guy who's built a career roasting Trump, is now turning the tables on his own side. He's fed up with MSNBC's relentless anti-Trump crusade, where every word from the former president is dissected like it's a crime scene. Meanwhile, when Biden was in power, those same fact checkers were mysteriously silent. Gaffes brushed off. Broken promises, repackaged as evolving policy. Stewart's not having it. He's calling out this double standard with a savage wit that's breaking the internet. And honestly, it's refreshing to see someone on the left admit the media's lost its way. But why is this happening? Let's dig deeper.
If there's one critique of the media from the right that I do agree with is the moralizing nature. Like, there is no condescension and moralizing on Fox. It's people on a couch asking questions. Are you worried about how many terrorists are coming in on the border? Do you ever worry about that? Whereas if you turn on MSC sometimes, you're like, it's like birds descending, you know, at sea on a tuna boat going, that's factually incorrect. Incorrect. Not correct. Incorrect. And you're just like, I can't listen to this.
Stewart coined a term that's pure gold, the first law of Trumpamics. Every action from Trump gets a wildly over-the-top reaction. Pardons, un-American, policy moves, authoritarian takeover 101. It's like MSNBC is scripting a cartoon villain arc. Stewart mocks this perfectly, joking about how he should have majored in submissive liberal crying 101 instead of falling for the hype. The truth? This overblown outrage is spiraling out of control, and even liberals like Stewart are sounding the alarm. The lies, the scripted narratives, the performative wokeness. It's not just annoying, it's alienating viewers by the millions. Let's talk about something we can all relate to: straws.
I think what the media has done over the last 10 years is cry wolf, to the point where they numbed everybody. It was an anesthetic. And it got to where, what was the thing they litigated throughout this campaign? He's a fascist, he's a terrible person. Democracy is on the ballot. Guess what lost at the ballot? If you told us democracy is on the ballot, well, democracy got its ass kicked by a majority vote. So I'm very cautious about when to know, like, yeah, hopefully I won't do it the night after Crystal knocked. I'll get it, like, but it's like, when do you put your dog down? Like, it's one of those things, like, you're not quite sure. But I do understand how annoying that is.
Trump's promise to bring back plastic straws might sound trivial, but it's a perfect example of why people are fed up. Biden's team pushed those flimsy, dissolvable paper straws that turn to mush in your drink. Stewart's take? Those straws are objectively terrible. He's not wrong. Even turtles are probably side-eyeing those things. Trump's blunt promise to reverse this kind of absurd policy resonates because it's practical. It's not about straws. It's about common sense. And when the media refuses to call out these laughable policies, they're not reporting, they're protecting. Stewart's had enough, and so have we. Here's the ugly truth.
Inspiring words for us. Mr. President.
History is literally watching us now. So let's preserve this secret place for our time and forever, for the benefit of all humanity. Thank you very, very much.
You know, maybe this is how we should do the transfer of power. The winner moves into the White House and the incumbent just wanders off into the jungle so that his nutrients may be returned to the soil.
MSNBC's anti-Trump obsession isn't journalism, it's partisan theater. Every syllable from Trump or his allies is fact-checked to death, while Biden's flaws were swept under the rug. Stewart points out the hypocrisy. When Biden was in charge, the media coddled him, spinning failures as victories. But when Trump makes a move, it's wall-to-wall outrage. This isn't about fairness, it's about loyalty to a narrative. And viewers are noticing. The public's trust in legacy media is tanking. And for good reason. They're being gaslit by outlets more interested in spin than facts. Stewart's calling it out, and it's a wake-up call the media can't ignore. Stewart drops another gem. The media's been crying wolf for so long, people have stopped listening. For years, networks like MSNBC and CNN screamed, Trump's a fascist, democracy is on the ballot. But when voters didn't buy it, the media doubled down instead of reflecting. Stewart's blunt take, democracy got its ass kicked by a majority vote. Ouch. No wonder ratings are in free fall. People are ditching legacy media for independent platforms that don't treat them like idiots. The lies, the manipulation, the condescension, it's not just frustrating, it's pushing viewers away for good. Stewart's warning is clear, keep this up, and the media's headed for irrelevance. What makes Stewart stand out? He's a comedian who uses humor as a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Unlike the media's talking heads, he doesn't tiptoe around party lines. Whether it's Biden wandering off into the jungle of political obscurity or Trump's straw crusade, Stewart calls it like he sees it. His unapologetic style resonates because it's honest, not scripted. He's not here to win applause from the left or the right. He's here to expose hypocrisy and challenge narratives.
Quite frankly, the response to the first show last Monday was universally glowing.
Jon Stewart is facing massive backlash from Democrats over his comments about Joe Biden. Olbermann tweeted, "Well, after 9 years away, there's nothing else to say to the both sides is fraud Jon Stewart bashing Biden except please make it another 9 years." Christy Jackson tweeted, "Sorry, but I won't be watching you either."
Okay. Maybe not universal. But that was on Twitter. Everything on Twitter gets a backlash. I've seen Twitter tell labradoodles to go themselves. Labradoodles.
In a world of echo chambers, that kind of integrity is rare, and it's why his voice cuts through the noise louder than ever. Of course, the left doesn't take kindly to criticism. When Stewart dared to mock Biden's gaffes, like his infamous "we finally beat Medicare" line, the outrage machine kicked into gear. Pundits like Keith Olbermann called him a fraud, and Twitter exploded with fans swearing off his show. But Stewart, he didn't flinch. He doubled down, refusing to bow to the woke mob. This backlash proves his point. The left preaches free speech, but only for those who toe the line. Step outside their bubble and you're canceled. Stewart's not playing that game, and his defiance is why he's still a force to be reckoned with. So what's the real takeaway from this media circus? It's not just about Jon Stewart's viral takedowns or Trump's straw promises. It's about a seismic shift in how Americans are engaging with politics, media, and truth itself. The mainstream media's bias, the left's double standards, and their obsession with woke ideology are pushing people away faster than you can say cable news ratings. Stewart's not out here defending Trump. He's defending something bigger. Intellectual honesty. And he's not alone. Across the country, everyday Americans are gravitating toward voices like Trump's, not because they're blindly loyal, but because his policies cut through the noise with a clarity that's hard to ignore. Border security to keep communities safe, energy independence to lower costs, economic growth to put money back in people's pockets. These aren't just slogans, they're practical solutions to real problems. Meanwhile, the left's fixation on identity politics, censorship, and performative virtue signaling feels like a lecture nobody signed up for. Think about it. When was the last time you heard a network like MSNBC tackle the skyrocketing cost of living or the border crisis with the same zeal they reserve for fact-checking Trump's every word? It's like they're allergic to addressing the issues that actually matter to regular people. Instead, they're busy policing language, pushing fringe narratives, and pretending Biden's gaffes are just charming quirks. Stewart sees through it, and so do millions of others. That's why his voice is resonating. He's calling out the hypocrisy without fear, even when it means taking heat from his own side. This shift isn't just about politics, it's about trust. The legacy media's trust deficit is growing by the day, and it's no surprise why. When you prioritize narrative over facts, you lose credibility. When you coddle one side while demonizing the other, you lose fairness. And when you treat viewers like they're too dumb to see through the spin, you lose respect. That's why independent platforms, from podcasts to YouTube channels, are thriving. They're filling the void left by a media machine that's forgotten how to listen. Stewart's role in all this is crucial. He's not just a comedian, he's a cultural lightning rod, exposing the cracks in a system that's been coasting on autopilot for too long. His willingness to call out both Biden's blunders and the media's bias makes him a rare voice of reason in a landscape gone mad. And Trump, love him or hate him, his appeal lies in his refusal to play by the establishment's rules. He talks about real issues, jobs, security, affordability, in a way that feels unfiltered, even if it's messy. That's why his base isn't just a cult, as the media loves to claim. It's a coalition of people fed up with being patronized. Until the left and their media allies get serious about addressing real issues, not just pandering to their base with woke talking points, this trend will only grow. The more they double down on divisive rhetoric, the more they alienate the very voters they need. Stewart's not saying Trump's perfect. He's saying the left's obsession with painting him as the devil is blinding them to their own flaws. And those flaws, the hypocrisy, the selective outrage, the refusal to engage with opposing views, are what's fueling the rise of common sense voices like Trump's. So what's next? Will the media take a hard look in the mirror, or will they keep doubling down? Will the left rethink their approach, or will they keep alienating voters with the same tired playbook? One thing's for sure, voices like Stewart's, and yes, even Trump's, aren't going away. They're the spark of a bigger conversation, one that's long overdue. Stick with us as we keep diving into these issues, because the truth matters, and we're not afraid to chase it.